getting back to this and this idea that you said Europe whole and free and Europe at peace, I'd like to go back to this, make myself the advocate of the devil in some way. And there's this tendency to say that, at least for the moment, that at least for the next few years, Russia is not going to be a democracy. And these people, these so-called realists, say that Europe can't have its security guaranteed if Russia is not on board, including if it's not democratic, at least for the next 10 years. And that's why, we have the OSCE, the Council of Europe, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about the decision to bring Russia back in the Council of Europe in a moment. But anyway, the idea is, even though the Gaulian expression of Europe from Lisbon to Vladivostok might be a bit far-fetched, some Europeans seem to want to have Russia on board, and they seem to see that it guarantees their security. What do you answer to these people? And does Russia have to play a role in Europe's security?
Well, first of all, we need to ask Europeans, and which means ourselves, do we have clear understanding what are major threats to our security? Because for me, ideas to bring Russia on board on questions of European security sounds in some way, I would say, schizophrenic. Because when I am looking into what threats to security, Europe has, I would say that Russia is among the biggest challenges to our security. Of course, we can say, number one threat to our security is Russia, unpredictable, nuclear, aggressive, nostalgic to imperial past, and so on and so on. Number two, we can talk about international terrorism and so on. But we need to name what are our security threats. And then we need to look what kind of strategy we need to have, national security strategy, which for time being, I do not see in a very clear language, written European national security strategy, I do not see. And that is why I envy two Americans who, if I am correct, back in 2017, administration published National Security Strategy of the United States of America, and where they put in a very clear way that number one, global security threat to security of the United States, Russia and China, which Americans are calling revisionist powers. Then, number two, it's unpredictable countries like North Korea and Iran. And number three, international terrorism, and so on and so on. So for us to talk about what to do with Russia and should we bring Russia on board in order to resolve security issues of Europe, I would call it's a wrong question. Democratic Russia really, will be with us together for security guarantees. Putin's Russia, as a revisionist power, is number one security threat, and we need to have a very clear strategy what to do with that security threat. That is why we are talking about that we need to have a strategy, not how to embrace Putin's Russia, but how to help Russia to transform itself. And that is what we need to discuss.